Hey, it's JB, and today we're going to learn the actual guitar part from Refresh Gladden, My Spirit. This is going to be exactly the way that I played it on Badasht Volume 2. So there's easier ways to play this song, but for those of you who want to learn the part exactly the way you've been hearing it on the record for years and years, this is going to be it. And I'm using these as little sort of intermediate acoustic guitar lessons so that you can learn little tricks and cool stuff that goes into the guitar part. So for this tune, I am putting a capo on the first fret, as you can see. Capo on the first fret, which means that if I say G chord, for example, it's because I'm doing the fingering of a G chord, but it's actually an A flat chord. But I'm not going to talk in the translated key. I'm going to talk about the chords as if there's no capo, if that's okay with you guys. And this one, we're going to play it as a G, and you're going to need a capo to do this in the original key. It's also possible for you to move the capo up a little more if you want to sing it higher, or take the capo off if you want to sing it lower. So let's talk about the rhythm of this tune. This tune has a rhythm that I really want you to internalize in order to get the mood and the feeling of this tune. We're going to put the heel of our hand on the bridge sometimes. Not in front of the bridge, because we're not doing heavy metal. Okay? We're just going to put it right on the bridge to get this halfway muted sound. Make sense? The low notes especially are going to get a little muted, maybe not the high ones as much. High ones are a little more open. And let's talk about what rhythm this is. You notice my hand is just moving the whole time. And that's the rhythm. It's going to be down, okay? And then you're gonna do a silent down. So down, silent down, okay? Down, and then an up after the silent down. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But it's gonna get really weird if you don't do that silent downstroke in between, because then you're gonna start doing a robotic strumming pattern, which we're consciously trying not to get into. So I'll show you what I mean. Here it goes. You can almost tell what song I'm playing already just by hearing that rhythm pattern. So that's what it should sound like. That little half muted sound really gives it a cool, it makes it a little more percussive, a little moodier, not quite as folky. If I play it wide open without the palm on the bridge, it sounds like this. I'm not as into it. I prefer this. It's like a little darker and a little more interesting. Okay, let's dive into the meat and potatoes of the song here. The song starts out with a C shape and then G. Okay, and it's the G that has no first finger in it. It's the G that we play with our second, third, and fourth fingers. All right? So here we go. C, G. And as I talk about in my course, you guys can check that out. It's free. Beginner No More. I call this thing the claw because these two fingers move between a lot of chords without changing shape. So you can treat them as a claw that just moves like that. Okay? So now we're going to do something fancy, okay? The idea is that we're going to do upstrokes that only hit 2 or 3 strings at a time, not the whole guitar. And it sounds like this. And we're going to put our first finger and our second finger down in an A minor 7 shape, okay, but over the G chord. So it's like this. 2 upstrokes. So it sounds like this. You got me? G. Again. One more time. And then we're going to do a pull-off. To get a clean pull-off, you really have to twang the strings with your left hand, like that. Like you're actually playing the strings with your left hand, like this. And I'm trying not to play all the strings with my pick, just those. Takes a little bit of practice, but you will totally get it. Then we're gonna go like this. We're gonna take that exact same formation, that same shape that we were just doing, and we're gonna switch it up a fret and down to a lower pair of strings. Now let's analyze this, because this is probably the trickiest thing in the song. I'm doing the same shape, but now I'm doing it, instead of on the 2nd and 4th strings, I'm doing it on the 3rd and 5th strings. And I still have an open string in between them. In the first one, that open string is the 3rd. And on the second one, it's going to be the 4th. Which is really a nice sound. So we're going. So this is probably the thing that you're going to have to work on the most, I'm thinking, for this tune. But who knows, there may be more. And then we're going to go back down to the 2nd fret, but only that finger. So 2nd finger, 5th string, 2nd fret. I'm muting out the low E as usual. I always have to remember to say how much I'm muting that low E. I'm muting it unless I'm specifically wanting to hear it. Does that make sense? Unless I'm really sure that I want to hear it. So G, that's muted. 2nd string's muted. Once you get it, it actually feels really good on your hand. You notice they're all upstrokes. There's 2 reasons for that. One reason is because if we're playing this rhythmic pattern that we talked about, they happen to fall on upstrokes. Up, 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 up. Up, 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 up. They just happen to be on upstrokes at the time if our hand is moving nonstop. The other reason is because on the upstrokes, you're going to notice that the high note tends to get emphasized more than the low notes, which is melodic because your ear is following the loudest note and the highest note. So you're getting if somebody was going to hum this part to you, they would not hum the low note. They would instinctively hum the high note, and that would be the melody. So it would be like, da, 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 da. That's what you hear, even though you're hearing 3 notes at a time. Really, the one that sticks with you is this one. That's the one that you hear. So up, 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 up. Try to hold the notes down until the next chord. You know, try not to release them early. Try to go, you know what I mean? Like, learn how to hold on to it to the last possible second. I realize I'm spending way too much time on this, but it's pretty nerdy stuff. D chord. Okay. That's what we do on the D chord. Nothing fancy. A lot of emphasis on upstrokes though. Up, up. Oh God, fresh. So here we go. Verse. That was the intro. Verse. Very familiar shapes, right? G chord. We're going to do that same thing, almost like an A minor 7 over a G. It's really a C over a G. So let's get comfortable with those upstrokes. Up, up, and then a D over F sharp. Let's talk about D over F sharp. I use this a lot. If you learn it, you get used to playing it, you're going to use it all the time in various different songs. It's a D chord, but instead of this note on a D chord, we're going to leave that one out. And actually, my third finger is even going to mute the first string a little bit. And we're going to stick a new bass note under it, which is going to be our thumb on the second fret. Again, I'm saying second fret even though it's the third, but we're treating the capo like the end of the guitar, right? So you'll notice something. My thumb is overreaching. It's not only grabbing that note, but it's even going far enough to mute the fifth string. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 notes in the chord. Let's hear what it sounds like. Okay, and we're going to do our little rhythm that we're doing all the time. Remember, that really is the rhythm of the whole song. So it goes, oh God, refresh and gladden my spirit. That's a big G chord right there. See if you can do that. That G chord is just the second finger and the third finger. We're muting out the fifth string, we're muting out the first string. And it's on an upstroke. Up. Again. And I tend to play it kind of loud. Okay? E minor. Let's look at what we got so far. Oh God, fresh and glad. Okay, now we're gonna go up, down, up, down, up, down. It's a very specific little break from the pattern. We're changing it to give it a little section of its own and then get back to the rhythm, right? So we're going up, down, up, down, up, down. Now you're noticing, I don't know what that was. Up, down, up, down, up, down. And when I want to get those mutes, I'm clamping down my pick's hitting the strings while the heel of my hand hits all the strings. Right? I'm about an inch away from the bridge now because I'm getting a proper mute. I'm not getting my nice half mute. I'm getting a real, it's choking the strings. So see if you can practice that. You might have to do that in a little loop. And then we go back to the rhythm. So I'll show you how it fits in. The second time we play it, after this, the second time we play it, we're going to go over this D over F sharp thing. We're going to go, because I have to do that in every Badasht song, it seems. So we're going to go, and where those fall is on a down, up, up, up. I'll show you. Down, up, up, up. Again. Sharpshooting individual strings. And we only do this the second time we play it. Okay? So, second time sounds like, and then a B7, and E minor. So the second time has some spice. It's got some other little stuff going on, including a B7 chord. Now, everybody knows that a B7 chord has your little finger in it, right? But that is a much brighter mood than a B7 chord that doesn't have the first string in it at all. So listen to this. That's a very different mood then. So we're not getting that really bright B7. We're leaving the first string out of it and we're playing the B7 kind of like low key. I'll show you how it should sound. It should go. We're not making a huge deal out of that B7. We're kind of downplaying it a little bit. Then we go into Purify my heart, which is like the intro. Illumine my power, bring all my affairs and And that's the main part of the song. So you just loop all of that and you've got the whole verse. So I'm going to play it through slowly one time and then normal tempo. Here comes the slow version. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's most of the song. Regular speed. That's it for that part. Let's do the chorus. Okay, going to the chorus. The big message for the chorus is to be able to play a chord and then flatten your hand and get that chord to disappear really fast. So this is a technique. We're going to learn it. We're going to go like this. Now you notice that I'm not putting my hand down to mute the chord. I'm just going. So what's going on? My hand has flattened against the strings. I'm not gripping. I'm just barely touching them, but all of them, so that it went like this. It just muted them out. So see if you can do that on the C chord. And make sure that the chord just kind of like cuts off really fast. It's a little trickier on the G. Why? Because you've got 3 open strings in a G chord. You've got these guys. Those are harder to mute, so your first finger is going to have to do it. Okay? You got to practice that. So C, G, and then D. D is a little trickier because it has an open D string and there really isn't a convenient finger nearby to lay flat on it and mute it out. So you may end up doing that with your right hand. You know? Just sort of like tap. Maybe I'm doing that on all of them, but I've gotten accustomed to muting with my left hand for most stuff. So the rhythm is, so down, muted down, and then a short upstroke note. And then we're going to do a quick transition chord. So that chord is our G inversion, which normally we would play with our 2nd and 4th fingers, but right now we're going to play it with our 1st and 3rd fingers, because coming from a D, it feels really nice to go to 1st and 3rd finger and go right to a C chord. Twice on the G, once on D. I'm going to keep playing this for a minute. That's what it should sound like. Now you notice there's a lot of this going on. Notice that there's only a few loud hits and then a bunch of quiet hits. The loud hits are the main beats, and the little stuff in between is very loose and quiet. I'm going to play it with no chords. That's what it should sound like. Okay? Now when we're done, and we want to signal to people that we're going, I will not dwell unpleasant things of life. I play the last D chord open because after all of that really staccato muted stuff, playing an open chord signals that we're about to change. And it really is a nice transition to get out of this section. I'll play it at tempo for a minute. I will not dwell. On this one, I'm going to play it open. And then I play a nice open C chord. So that's our typical walk down. Typical C, G inversion, A minor. C shape, walk down, okay? C, very open, but not very loud. We're going to back off the volume a little bit. And we're going to really go back and forth between these. It's a little bit hard to remember, but once you get it, you'll get it. So it goes, oh God, thou art more friend to me. G inversion. Then a C, and back to it. Notice there's not, I'm not playing the first string. Oh God. Low E and high E are muted. C, and back again. We're really hanging out on this chord. A minor. That's the last one. So A minor. Oh God, let's go through it. We're gonna hang out. C. Hang out again. A minor, and then here we go. Boom, boom, boom. So A minor. We're hanging out here. I dedicate myself to thee, oh Lord. That's where it comes. I dedicate myself. Why not? I always take my finger off for the second half of that chord and just give it that nice, it's a D add 2 chord, but it's just really a D with the second finger taken off, right? So that you get an open first string. Now we have a fancy chord. Sometimes we're allowed to have one fancy chord per song. What this is our D over F sharp type formation, but we're playing it with different fingers. There's two different ways that you can play this one. You can either do your thumb thing if you've gotten comfortable with that thumb, and then play the first finger, second string, first fret, and second string, second finger, third string, second fret. Those two with the thumb, always muting out the fifth string. So it would sound like, right? Oh, I'm even muting out the fourth string. This is fancy. So really, I don't know, am I really? Do I have to mute that out? No, you don't have to mute out the fourth string. The other way to play this chord is second finger on the low note, third finger on third string second fret, and first finger second string first fret. And you can even have the first string ringing out if you want. So I dedicate myself. I actually don't have the first string ringing out. It's distracting. I dedicate myself. Sounds better without it. To thee, O Lord. Back to the old G. So let's run that ending. I will not dwell on the unpleasant things I've opened. Oh God. Walk down, a friend to me. Hang out. Then I am to myself. Hang out. I dedicate. Here we go. And then we go. And that really is the whole song. I do have one little tricky thing that I like to do on that last D chord. So I dedicate myself to thee, O Lord. If you're up for it. It's just a little lick on the D chord. It's just like that. Takes a little while to get good at those, but they're fun. That's with the second finger. If you can go, it's like a little trill. Hammer on and pull off really quick. It's much easier to do it without a chord. So, right? If you're up for it. And then, dedicate myself to thee, O Lord. And that's the song. So, one word about the D over F sharp style thing. If you really hate using your thumb on these, I understand. You could totally rearrange those chords to be second finger, third finger, fourth finger instead. If you really want to, you could even do it with your first finger, although that's going to be really awkward jumping between chords, so let's not say that. If you can't stand playing this with your thumb, then try it like this. Second finger, third finger, fourth finger. Just promise me that you're going to mute out the fifth string no matter what, and the first string. You should only be hearing 4 notes regardless. But I'm encouraging you guys to do this thumb thing because, first of all my F chords have the thumb in them. So there's a few chords that are just, it's really nice to be able to fret with your thumb. Plus, I am getting you guys to mute a lot with your thumb. So that means that it's already in the neighborhood and all you got to do is just push it another 2 millimeters and you get a note. So that's just a little side thing about those chords. If it drives you nuts trying to do it with your thumb, then there's other ways to play it. But I encourage you to do the thumb. And that really is the whole song. So maybe I should play chorus into ending. So here we go. Here we go. So that's Refresh and Gladden My Spirit. I hope this helps, and for those of you that want to get this nerdy with these parts, let me know if there's any other songs that you want me to get into. We're also going to do some piano stuff with Eric and some easy versions of the songs so that beginners can play them, or if you don't feel like going through all this trouble, you can still play the song. So, yeah, I'll see you around on another lesson probably.